Hey guys, what's up and welcome to another episode of the Goodcast Show. So today is a first. We have our first guest from the People's Progressive Party, PPP. Now, before we get to my guest, let's talk a bit about PPP. It is a multiracial political party and was once a component member of the Barisan National Coalition from 1973 to 2018. Now, PPP was a breakaway party from the Labour Party and was established in 1953. And in its earlier days, it was a significant opposition party. In fact, in 1969, PPP was nearly able to form the Perak state government, but fell short of just 2 seats. Now, in fact, in 1954, PPP joined the ruling alliance with UMNO, MIC and MCA, which would then later become to be known as Barisan Nasional. Since then, its members have held many positions, including senatorships, members of parliament, deputy ministers and councillors, till the Najib Razak government. Now, in recent times, PPP hasn't been the same. Before its current president, it went through proposed mergers with BN, shifting loyalties, internal power struggles, and legal battles. But today, with renewed leadership and a member base of over 320,000 members and 3,200 branches nationwide, PPP is in its resurgence. My guest today is its newly elected president, and is a man with big ambitions for his party, including recruiting an additional 100,000 members in the coming 2 years. His focus: education, affordable housing, and public health. Please welcome former Deputy Minister of Federal Territories and a very successful businessman himself, and now the man who is tasked with revitalizing PPP. Please welcome Dato Dr. J. Loga Bala Mohan. Dato, how are you? And welcome to the podcast.
Good morning, Vinod.
Thank you
very much. I'm good, and I hope everybody is also good.
Yes, thank you. Dato, when we talk about PPP, let's set the record straight. Was Tan Sri Kevius kicked out of the party, or did he resign?
Well, we actually terminated his membership.
Okay. On what grounds?
On the grounds that he did not follow the constitution, wherein in the constitution it provides that he, if anything to do with the seats and members to be appointed to the seats, candidates to be nominated to the seats, must be consulted with the Supreme Council. So he failed to follow that by doing certain actions which was detrimental to the party. So the Supreme Council then decided that we have to take some action when we found out the truth, and then we took action on it.
PPP can be said to be something like a sleeping giant. 320,000 members, 3,200 branches. It has an amazing infrastructure already that most parties now would kill to have. What are the issues that you want to address in your presidency?
Well, if you ask me, PPP itself stands for something that is special in this country, because since 1953, as it was founded, it was always a multiracial party. So though we were all the time thinking that it's an Indian majority party, but it is never an Indian-based party. It's a multiracial party. So to me, we were local government champions in the early days. Local government was our forte. Then we have shifted. We became a general player. Now we have to look at how to focus into certain issues. We have decided to pick up education as the foremost mission of the party, championing education for equality. In equal means not taking away people's quota or asking people to give up their quota, but asking the government to increase the opportunities for all people, all Malaysians in an equal.
Okay. But Dato, you say that PPP is a multiracial party, but in a statement you made last year, you said we see a role in helping to mitigate the plight of the Indians. We find themselves again at a deficit end as their present political representation has not met the community's high expectations. So isn't this statement not in line with your party stance as a multiracial party?
No, we speak up for the left out communities. So in the case of the Peninsular Malaysia, because we have not established ourselves in Sabah and Sarawak, so in Peninsular Malaysia, the Indian community is a community that needs help, needs direction. So having a majority Indian members, I think we have a duty to the community. So that doesn't put us away from our multiracial concept and a Malaysian for Malaysia.
Don't you think that PPP also is now sort of suffering what DAP is suffering now? Because out of your top 8 leadership positions in the party, only one is a Chinese. The rest are Indian. So from the outside looking in, it would look like an Indian party.
Actually, during the crisis, we had no opportunities or chances to get things corrected in a better way. So we took in whatever we had at that end. At that time, we accepted whoever came forward. So based on that, we went forward.
Okay.
And we are there. It's not only that, we also have other members down. We have I think we have about 4 Chinese in the stream, the mainstream, and we had about 2 Malays there. But however, we have to look at a mixture. That will come soon.
Okay.
When the elections takes place.
Okay. Looking forward to that. Now, speaking of which, Dato, there's been a lot of shifts in Malaysian political scene. Recently, a while back, in fact, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin had met 11 parties. And PPP was represented by your youth leader, Mr. Satya Sudakaran. So is PPP shopping for a new home?
We did not go shopping. We're not doing window shopping either.
Yeah.
All we did was we had an invitation respecting him being the 8th Prime Minister of Malaysia, an invitation coming from him. We just sent one of our reps there to see what they have in mind. So we are not shopping. I'll put it clearly, we are not shopping. We are trying to establish ourselves as someone valuable to look at, someone that can add value to your solution. So we look at people who think of us like that.
Now, if we look at what Dato Sri Zahid Hamidi has said about PPP in relations to it becoming a component party in BN, it does surprise me a little because PPP has a substantial member base, good network, 3,200 branches. It's able to get the word to the ground. Yet they are a bit careful. He's a bit careful. He's not confirmed. He's not denied, nothing. Could this all be put on Tan Sri KVS decision in 2018 after the elections to leave BN?
Yes and no.
Okay, how so, Dato?
Yes, because Tan Sri KVS did make certain announcement when he already lost his position. He made some announcements which were detrimental to the party, like he wanted to leave Barisan and so forth. However, Barisan Nasional itself know that we did not leave Barisan Nasional. The larger group, which was still intact with PPP and who was in control of PPP's administration, and the late president then, Dato Sri Magellan de Cruz, we were with Barisan Nasional. We did not leave. The concern now is certain parties are using Tan Sri KVS's announcement as instrument or a weapon against us to allow us to be reinstated. So there was nothing like we left. There's nothing to reapply either. It's to be reinstated.
Okay.
I think that the points are clear.
Definitely.
Basically.
Of course, another big news now is that MIC is looking for a new home. That's the rumors. So them leaving BN, would that be an advantageous move for PPP now, that you guys can be more prominent in the coalition?
I look at politics in different angle. When it comes to policy, I think Malaysians should have opportunity to have a fair option in the policies. One of those things that PPP would like to stand for is that we would like to be fair to everybody, whether you're a Chinese, whether you're a Malay, whether you're Indian. However, there is also something called community needs. In the case of MIC, it's an Indian-based party catering for over 60, 70 years, 70 over years for the betterment of Indians. And being structured, it is important to understand a party, a political party, before we speak about them. You cannot have a party just started just tomorrow or yesterday to become something, to the ground. But if you look at how to address issues, you need a structure. So if you look at the Indian-based parties in Barisan Nasional, MIC is very structured. They're right to the ground. Or else if you look at PPP, we're a multiracial party, but Indian-based majority party. We are also structured to almost 90% of them. Both have a role to play. So I wouldn't say coming in and taking over the position and looking at it as just to do with the party itself. is a statement of a little man. So I rather look at it as
The bigger man.
the bigger man.
So now let's shift to things you have said in recent times. I think a few weeks ago you voiced out against the AGC's lack of action on both Firdaus Wong and Zamri Vinod for them violating the 3R rule with their comments, right? What is your view now on the upside down flag phenomena that's sort of grabbing the nation's attention now?
So let's look at it like everybody can make a mistake. You don't punish people for making an unintentional mistake. You can correct them. You reprimand them, you correct them, but you don't punish them, or you don't take advantage of it and create an issue out of it. So that means you must be an empty bin. So you find something to create every little thing that you want to create. There's no need. This country is quite a well-established country in terms of patriotism in the country. Malaysians generally love Malaysia.
Yeah, of course.
Although there are people who have, shortfalls about it, but whatever is said and done, I still feel they have the love for Malaysia. So mistakes can happen. The very fact that they wanted to put up the flag means they have love. It's not that purposely they want to put it upside down or they want to show it to everybody. I don't think that is the intention.
Do you think this ranks worse than people who put up Malaysian flags but never care for them? You see all these flags that are torn, tattered.
Even that is even worse. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you ask me, I should punish them. We should be punishing them, not those people who make mistakes.
Yeah.
A date-corrected mistakes can be always forgotten.
Definitely.
Forgiven and forgotten. But somebody keeps the flag up there, torn, dirty, no respect for the country.
Exactly. So recently, of course, the man who we all know and love, the Pemuda head of Barisan Nasional, Dr. Akmal Saleh, YB Dr. Akmal Saleh, he said, if the hardware store owner who hung the Jalur Gemilang upside down is not hauled to court within 2 days, UMNO youth chief said he will educate the man. If there were no charges on this individual by Wednesday, then God willing, on Thursday, I will go and we will give a class to educate this ape and how to properly hoist the flag. Now, this was all in a video he said in Facebook. Now, if you think that Zamri Vinod and Firdaus Wong should have faced the brunt of the law, should YB Akmal Saleh face the same for making such statements?
Firdaus Wong and Zamri Vinod, they have repeated attitude of insulting.
Yeah.
Disrespecting. I won't use the word insulting, but disrespecting others. You have your belief, you have your right to your belief, you have right to your faith. But you have to learn that this is a multiracial country, multi-religious country, which everybody is given an opportunity to stay and serve their faith. So you have to respect it. But continuously doing it in whatever so-called protection they have is wrong. That's why I'm saying that there must be some form of detrimental action taken against them. So to stop them from going wrong again and again and again. We've been telling them, many times they've been told, many times they've been also hauled to the courts, but they don't seem to change.
Yeah. Despite the 1,000 reports, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. So that is what is hurting to the Malaysians.
Correct.
Because of other faith, we feel that, would you leave us alone if we were the ones who made such statement?
Oh, no.
I don't think so. You will do that. So why can't you just treat us equal? We don't want you to punish him for something he didn't do, but teach him to be correct. At least there is a precedent set that you don't make these mistakes again. Don't do these things.
Correct.
So I think whoever it is, on the top or the bottom, we have to stand together when it comes to this. This country needs to move forward. We cannot all the time rely just on religion, race, and royalty. We have to move forward with great respect to all three of this.
Do you think such remarks by politicians like Dr. Akmal and all that almost sound like as if you're taking matters into your own hands? It's very dangerous because it promotes vigilante justice and ultimately it does have an impact on our harmony as a people. When our leader says, I'm going to educate you and not leave it to the authorities, isn't that a dangerous part?
Certainly. I believe Akmal won't go to that extent, although he says things, but I don't think he's such a character, knowing him as a person. However, making such statements are also wrong. So he should learn that not to make such statement. I think he's been reprimanded many times by his leadership, and I think many times people have spoken to him, have voiced out their grievance against him. That's why I said somebody has to reprimand him sometime.
Sometimes, yeah. Another hot topic now, Dato, is the Silambam issue. What is your thoughts, Dato?
You see, Silambam was a sport that was encouraged and was given the recognition a few years ago, and it continued being there. However, if you look at the sports minister's statement,
Yeah.
that it was the choice of the host who chose not to hold the games, the sport. So if you look at it, it has got authority to it. So we have to accept the authority to it. But we have an avenue of appeal. So it is more important that we go to the avenue of appeal than to make it a race-based issue. It's not a race-based issue. It's a sport. Even the non-Indians are participating. They're learning. They're starting to getting encouraged to do it. But why make it into a racial issue? I don't think we should make it into a racial issue. But I would defend it as a Indian-based cultured sport. So accepting that fact, we also have to look at the point that whether we are still syncing with the SOPs that are prepared. So if we are not, we use the right channels. Let's appeal. So my take on this would be the Association of Silambam Malaysia should bring it to the organizers for an appeal, to get an audience to appeal and make known why they would like Silambam to be part of it. And let the organizers consider. Because we have a SOP. Then tomorrow, somebody else will say something else. Then we are not going to go every now and then do this. It's important that we follow the laws that are. And if we have an issue, let's get it right.
Now, Dato, because in our previous conversations, you have shared some of the things that you have done when you were deputy minister, which I thought were just fantastic. And I think people need to know. In fact, the story, I hope you'll share it today, was something which was such a breath of fresh air because you provided a solution to a community. But before that, let's discuss your views on Madani first, and in particular, the RMK13. What is your opinion of PMX? What is your opinion of RMK13 and the direction PMX is taking this country to?
For me, PMX is taking this country into its future. Let's give him the credit that he's trying to put all these things that need to be put in place, economics or in terms of the country's growth. While he's doing this, he also sees that he is lacking on a lot more things. First, the ground is always speaking about his failure to fulfill his manifesto. That's one of it. Well, failure to fulfill manifesto, you cannot say is a failure until it is completed, until his term is complete. So we give him that time. That's that part. I will take it that way. However, the racial relationship in this country has become very bad.
Is that his fault or PN?
I think it's because the way we are structured. There's a huge gap between the Malays and the non-Malays, which is very, very dangerous. So I think you need to relook at that quickly and do something very, very serious, religiously get it done to bring back the harmony. Sometimes that's why I say the importance of having a component which understands or has representation of all races is important. When you don't, then you cannot. I'm a friend of Govind. I'm nothing against him. But just to put, if 90% of the community speaks Tamil and you are a person representing the community without being able to speak Tamil, how do you understand their feelings? You know, expression, feelings are different from words. You know, when somebody wants to express it to you in their own feeling, then they will express it in their own words. I mean, sometimes you speak the Tamil so well that you can express it in Tamil well, but you might not be able to express it in any other way.
The nuances of the language,
Of the not only that, just also the command of the language.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I feel sorry for him if he is to go to a Tamil school. Obviously, he's not going to accept an invitation because he can't speak this language.
The majority of Indians are Tamil.
Tamil school, if you go to a Tamil, let's take as a representative of a government, a successful Tamil school invites him for a function. He has to go and speak in Bahasa. Yes, Bahasa is the official language. However, when you are in a school like that, you expect them to speak that language.
Correct.
At the same time, it also happens if he goes to a Chinese school. You can see Anthony Lopez can speak the language. Everybody there can speak the language, but on our side, we're having this problem. So this is something that we have to look at. How to overcome this is not wrong. Prerogative is correct, but it's not wrong. But the Prime Minister has to pay attention to look into this issue and how to overcome it. By just blaming some of them is not the answer, or holding anybody responsible for it other than the Prime Minister himself is also not the answer. So they have to look at how this first issue can be resolved.
But this issue of reform implementations, right? If we look at Wawasan Doplo Doplo, that failed, but nobody made a big deal about it. PMX has been in power for what, 4 years now. So isn't it too soon to evaluate him? Too soon to criticize? Because reforms take time in government. Everything takes time in government. I mean, you should know.
Yeah. I would say in order to get the confidence of the people, being a political party, politician, being a government, you need the people's confidence. If you want to get the people's confidence, you first of all address low-lying fruits first. You don't go to the high-hanging fruits.
Okay.
You don't talk about big reforms, and then you put the people in lots of difficulties.
Yeah.
So I always use this word: place, time, and circumstances.
Okay.
So if there's place, time, and circumstances, and if they don't see the issue, whatever you do at the high end is not going to work. Because the low hanging is suffering.
Yeah.
So they're spoiling, they're rotting. So you are allowing it to rot and say, never mind, let it rot and drop. Just, fruit, low-lying fruit, it rots and drops. While you're saying, okay, I want to save those on the top.
You have to start from the bottom. Like.
Yeah, you need to look at it. You have to look at it in parallel. You can't look at it in a folder by itself. So he has got to do reforms. Yeah, he has to take time to do reforms. At the same time, you are bringing in reforms which are hurting the people. You're not upgraded the living standards of the people. Okay? And then what you have mentioned in your own speeches, in your own texts, in your own charamas and whatever not, you're not portraying that anymore. So that is a setback for him. So he has to look at how he is going to please the people, how he is going to make the people confident that he is doing the right thing. So he has got a lot of work to do on that front.
Out of the three things that PPP wants to focus on, which is education, affordable housing, and public healthcare, I think those have been also the primary focus of RMK13. We've seen a lot of educational reforms and all that, our policies or new things being enacted. What are your thoughts, Dato, about the education moves in RMK13?
See, this RMK13 is a big vision. 5
years, yeah.
But they have to look at how to make structures. It's the important part for the government is not just to announce ideas, policies, or projects, but how to implement them so that the people can see the growing. I'm not talking about the growth, the growing. That means they must have some confidence that, oh, yes, this project, for example, we take Mitra. I've been telling, nothing wrong with Mitra, nothing wrong with the allocation. That's given to us, okay. To us meaning indeed. What is lacking in Mitra? I always say this thing that if every fund that comes out from the government, or every allocation, every budget, somebody wants to become a custodian of it, then there's no growth in it at all. It's a failure.
Yeah.
So as a government, every agency in the government is supposed to be a facilitator to facilitate how you can dish these goodies down to the ground. In case of Mitra, they don't have a structure. They bring in people. They expect them to do something in such a short time, 1 year. So what plans do you have?
Everything takes time, basically, is what you're saying.
So it takes time. So to me, it's importantly, first, I am agreeable that the Mitra should be under the Prime Minister's department. Secondly, it has to be restructured. It has to have core business, social business, core business like Indian issues in terms of education, in terms of housing, in terms of health. We have a lot of these issues going on in the ground. Now they come to different. I think you would have read recently that there was an education issue. MIC came forward to help. So these are issues that are in the ground. Then we have a social issue. How to or give this Indian community lift from the current status. So looking at this, I would say firstly, education will be one of the core business. Second one will be the housing, because Indian owning houses are very difficult. They can't. Sometimes during my experience, when we created the first roll of affordable houses for the squatters, we couldn't find any one of them able to buy because they couldn't get loans. They never had the deposit sum to pay.
This was, sorry, Dato, but this was under the premiership of Najib Razak, right?
Yeah, Najib Razak. Yeah. It did both. You see, so I know that they have problems in this owning homes, and everybody is entitled to own a home.
Of course.
Now you come to health. Okay, if you look at Malay community, they're very much established from the top to bottom.
Yeah.
There are various entities helping. And then the Chinese community, they have high awareness of health. So they're very serious about their health issues. They pay attention, they do this, they do that, they do everything to keep the health good. When it comes to the Indian community, they lack in all resources and awareness. So they just take it as let it happen. If it happens, the attitude is if it happens, not just let it happen. If it happens. So if it happens, how do you do things? This is the lacking in the Indian community. So this help, then they get into health issues. Suddenly the person who gets into the health issue will be the single breadwinner in the family. Then the whole family is distorted. They have no place to go for help.
Yeah.
Neither they can keep the person floating. So many issues are there. So for me, the core business for Mitra would be to start looking at how to structure education department, housing department, the health department, and the economic development, and certain aspect of it was the social development.
But is that transformational enough for them? I mean, that is their mandate to be transformational. This sounds more welfare, Dato.
If you get these things right, if you can see these aspects, okay, if you create sufficient education opportunities within the Indian community, why don't you think there's a transformation there?
Of course there is. Like Samuel said, one house, one graduate.
Yeah, it's one house, one graduate. Maybe now we need more than one house, one graduate. So we are looking at that. Every Indian should be able to have some form of education, either academic, debate, skill, whatever, something that they can go and start a livelihood or base their livelihood on. So that's a transformation. Two, we looking at housing. If you have Indians being able to own houses, live in a comfortable living, isn't that transformation?
Yeah.
Okay. Health, if you create enough health office or options, giving them enough opportunity to develop themselves, that whenever anybody goes into a situation, we are in the transmission now. We are not really crossed the line. So when you're in the transition line, it's very difficult to say health is not an issue. Yeah, we have healthcare, but not that everybody can access it.
Yeah.
That's another issue. People always, when you come to health, everybody wants the best. So let's put it this way. I would say, give it some time. Then you will see that how this transformation takes place. And this transformation will actually bring about a leapfrog in the Indian community itself. Then looking at the social aspect of it, social economy aspect of it, the social can take another half of it, and the economic side can take half of it. We can create more opportunities in terms of creating businesses, but we have to structure them. We cannot just say, I want to do this business. And then you cannot put conditions on them and say, okay, you must have this, you must have 6 months bank statement. But how do I start a business if I cannot get the capital to do it? So there must be programs to help us in this along this way.
Yeah.
Rather than just say that, oh yeah, we will give you Tukun support, this, that, but you need to fulfill these criteria.
Yeah.
So the criteria are not suitable for the community.
At this point, so there is a gap there.
Yeah.
I just want to go into this before I would hope you'll share your amazing thing you did. In the RMK13, the government has announced that it's aimed to build 1 million affordable houses by 2030. Do you think this is achievable?
Yes. It depends on the political will. Tunku Adnan, my minister then, he was serious about it. So he was going all over the Wilayah to get these affordable houses on. At the same time, he also felt a lot of resistance, people creating perceptions that he was taking all the land and giving to his friends, this, that, not. But the actual fact that he was actually arm twisting every one of them to give as much as possible. You see, the shilling for affordable housing was 300,000.
Yeah.
But if you look at certain areas, he even created at 220, 250. He was pushing it down. He was pushing it drastically down. The shilling was 300, but he was pushing it. But they didn't see that. They only wanted to
All the
Like,
negatives,
yeah.
negative stories.
negative of it, the negative.
juicy
But there was
stories.
no negative in it, but people just have to create a perception to say you're bad. People like to say bad things. People don't say good things.
Yeah, exactly. So I
The
want to change that
attitude-
with this because I think you were one in that story. Why I love that story so much was because a lot of leaders talk about problems. You actually did a solution that helped people. So can you please share that story, please, Dato?
No, when I was appointed as the deputy minister in the cabinet with Dato Sri Muhammad Najib Razak, and I had a very favorable colorblind minister. And I say colorblind is non-racial lah. Tunku Adnan Tunku Mansor. Dato Sri Utama Tunku Adnan Tunku Mansor. And they were prepared to listen, to listen to issues. They were open to issues. So when I came and I saw that there was policies that were existent, policies were actually absolute, cannot be used anymore because those policies in those years, in decades, have not been changed. So if you are a squatter, all that is needed to be done is for the developer to take the squatter and throw him into a PPR.
That's it.
That was the policy. So I went up to Tunku Adnan and said, sir, if we just do this continuously, and the squatters also our citizens and voters, they also need certain kind of options. So Tunku Adnan said, okay, let's look at what we can do. So he came up, okay, we'll give them special housing. Special housing, but how are they going to afford the housing? Special housing meaning what? So many things by a question mark. So he asked me, okay, do some work, let me know. So I said, okay, can we do this? Can we take, wherever there's quarters and there's development, especially if they're going to do high-end development or they're going to do affordable housing, they should make sure that accommodate the squatters on that particular piece of land. So he asked me, what do you mean? There's value of land. I say, yeah, the same thing. If these people are taken out of the land and thrown into another place, they have to restart their life there. But they've been living in this area. We are offering them affordable houses. So why can't we just look at how to offer this little area for them to be living there to accommodate their plate? So he was very fair. He came out with this thing to agree that, okay, we'll have the same design that the affordable houses will have at the squatter houses. The squatter replacement, they call it squatter compensation units. Same size. That means 800 for affordable, 800 for squatter compensation. 3 rooms, 3 rooms. 2 bathrooms, 2 bathrooms. Said, okay, now this is 300,000. So what is going to be this? We cannot look at anything more than 60, 70,000, 50,000. 50,000 at that time, it was 50,000.
2018. No,
2013.
13, okay.
So we took a stand that we'll sell it at 42.
Okay.
So you own a 300,000
house. You bought it 42.
You buy it at 42. So we give you a jump in your social status. So we went on doing this. So that man, he should be honored, not just forgotten or be criticized for certain things he did. Similarly, we went in Bukit Kiara when we came, there was already in a previous existing agreement that the squatters will only have 100 houses. That 100 houses are meant for them to buy, not just get free, buy. And the second house also have to be bought. Then I went to him and I said, if you're expecting an Indian family living in an area like Bukit Kiara, Longhouse, to buy a house at the age of 60, even at 25,000, is practically impossible. So then he said, okay, you go and discuss. He has got a very charming way of telling things. He's like very angry or what he's like shouting, but he's not actually.
Okay.
A charming person. He said, go and get it done. So I went to talk to the Yayasan. That time Yayasan Kutuan owns the land and they were doing a JB. And they had to change the developer because the developer was not fulfilling. So then we come up with an idea, okay, we'll give the first house free.
First house free.
Yeah, we'll give the first house free, the second house they buy.
Okay.
So second house is the second generation. They're still working.
Hmm.
So they still have opportunity to buy.
Wow. Okay.
We went on doing this.
How did they afford to pay? How did they?
When it came to the first project that was completed was Pandan Mas.
Okay.
I remember the lawyer for the developer came to see me and told me that Dato, none of them can afford to even get a loan or pay the 4,200. Even if they manage to pay 4,200, they won't get the loan. So I was in a dilemma. I said, oh wow, we have done this work. Now what's going to happen to it? So I went back to my minister. Then he said, wait, you're asking for too much. I said, sir, let's see what we can do. He said, okay, we're going to meet the Prime Minister, Najib Testimonial. He said, okay, come on, let's look at it. Let's see what he does. Speak about it.
Sorry, before you continue, how many people were going to get houses here?
At that place,
At that
300.
300 people.
Yeah.
So
300.
it is various locations, so 300.
No. The whole area, all number of units in this policy was 1,000 units.
I see. Okay.
So-
Okay. So
so,
you're going to meet Najib.
Yeah. So he said, we are going to meet Najib Testimonial in one of the walkabout programs. Let's speak to him. So yeah, the table, round table coffee like this, we sat down talking. I brought it up, Dr. Sri Najib, and said, sir, we have done this effort, we have put in this effort, you agreed to give this effort. Now we have a problem. So what's your problem? I said, we found out that none of them can afford to buy
Okay.
the houses because they cannot meet the commercial banking borrowing criteria. What? What do you want? So that, can we get a rolling fund of for 50 million? We'll finance the houses through our own entity. We have a housing company inside Yayasan, so they can dish the loan out by giving them the 42,000 to buy the houses, and they prepay. Repay the Yayasan 42,000.
With interest.
I requested for a 2% interest. So he said, okay, agreed. So I'll give you 50 million to make the arrangement. Despite I had other officers who were not agreeable to it, but then he just went on. He instructed FM2, that time was Dato Sri Johari, maybe Dato Sri Johari, to go ahead with the program, to give the guarantee. So we were back in the game, you see. So, okay, now we have the loan. The good news came the next day when my minister went to cabinet, came back and said, hey, PM said no need interest.
Wow, fantastic.
It was an interest-free loan.
Yeah.
That means they got 42,000 to buy the units.
Fantastic.
And they pay back. They pay back every month. We also schedule the payment such a way they don't go like, on commercial ways, and they cannot pay because they cannot pay back if you take too much from them. The monthly commitments.
Cash flow.
So we leveled it at 250 ringgit a month. That's the maximum you can charge. With the maintenance they pay. So it went on. So the first 300 at Panomas all got it.
Fantastic.
Then we were going for election. We came out. We were not the government then. Then that whole idea was dropped.
So overnight, you basically turn these people's income status, their classification.
I don't think the status, their economic status, their status have gone up.
Yeah, definitely. The asset value was increased.
Yes, asset value, the place.
Fantastic. That's it. When I listen to your story, then I kind of ask myself, if Najib can do it like that, I mean, then when we hear things like, no, it cannot be done, it takes time. So who shall we believe, Dato?
Najib was a decision maker. He's a listener and he was a decision maker. He was a real leader. You can go to him and tell him an issue. He will listen to you and he'll give you. If you have your facts right, he'll give it. He'll get it implemented. So in that way, he was bringing transformation throughout our period,
So now let's get back to PPP, Dato. So now in terms of your party, Dato, what is your vision for your party? What is the first in your agenda as you move forward?
My agenda for PPP now, firstly, is we want to make ourselves relevant. We will make ourselves relevant. So then we will partner with whoever feels that we are relevant. That is to bring dignity back to where we are. We are going to champion one first aspect of what we believe in, education. I'm calling for a royal commission on education. We need to relook at our education because our education has been distorted for many, many times, many periods. And the last royal commission, RCI, on education was decades ago. So it's already time, to change. And if you look very sadly, if you look at the Malays in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, the command of English they have.
It's very good.
And after that, you look, there's a big drop. Similarly with all the other races.
You'll find older people, maybe like villagers, but their English power.
That is a command. We have already achieved a certain recognition internationally. Now it's time for us to compete in the international market.
Yeah.
See, we always hear people saying, Sundar Pichai, India. This guy, India. So we also want to put a few of our people up there to say Malaysia.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who, Malaysia. So even global players to come into a global competition, to be able to compete globally. So we need to relook at the education system. And we have to keep talent. We cannot sideline talent. Talent need to be recognized. So the commission does not just look at only the syllabus, the curriculum, but they also have to look at how to make it worthy. This education system is worthy for the people who have achieved it.
Interestingly enough, PPP seems to have a very good record in Perak. I think the last seat contested was Ipoh Barat, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no. We contested Taiping, then we contested Kepong, then we contested Silambam. I was the last.
Silambam, yes.
I was the last candidate for PPP.
Yeah, I read the article. I like how you said you wanted to go to the toughest because that was a DAP stronghold, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I like that type of politics. So what's your plan, Dato, moving to the next elections? What can we expect from PPP?
See, now my greatest challenge is to make PPP's relevance known to the people. We had this gap of 8 years, setback, all these things that's going on to us. And usual political games, people play political games, keep you away, less people more share, stuff like that. So it's okay. That's part of politics. Gist of PPP is now to make ourselves relevant in the eye of the people. We are meant for Malaysians. So who is going to come forward and look at us? They have to look at us as a Malaysian.
Okay.
That's where we start. We might not start big, but we will start.
Yeah, but PPP is one of those parties that I had no idea just how big it was, but it's really a big party. It's many members.
It is a big party.
With rich history. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to say thanks to the previous president. He made his missionary work. However, things happen.
Yeah.
That's why I always say when you're a politician and in a leadership, better make sure the people around you are correct.
Yeah.
Don't get the wrong people around you.
Yeah.
You get the wrong people, you get the wrong advice, you get the wrong motivation, you'll go wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, Dato, one of your things is you want to increase membership by 100,000. How do we sign up to become PPP members if people watching want to join your party?
Every state has got a PPP office. Every state has got a PPP division. District has got a PPP branch. So you just have to find out where they are and go into and get the forms done.
Okay.
That's personal. The other way is by our website. You go into PPP, www.myppp.com, where you will see the forms are there.
Okay.
Also available on our website.
Okay.
And personally, you can reach me
Perfect. We'll be sharing the link. So if you guys want to join PPP, please click on the website and go and sign up and become a member. They are looking forward to add in another 100,000 to their current count, and we hope they achieve it. So last but not least, where will you be contesting? Which elections will you be taking part in, Dato?
Plans are, we have asked our states to identify one parliamentary seat and one state seat at their best. So at this time in moment, I can't tell you which particular seat, but we're looking at every state,
Every state.
So
Right.
we're looking at every state, one parliamentary state and one state seat. So this will be the beginning of PPP if we are solo. If we go into a coalition, then we'll have to see what they offer us. But solo, this is our plan. We are putting forward our plan. We just tell the people, try us out.
Definitely. So, guys, that was Dato Loga, and I truly thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Dato. I truly
Thank you
enjoyed
very
it.
much, Vinod. Thank you for having me here.
No, I loved it, Dato. And as you guys heard, his first account of what he has done for people overnight and get the word out that there are politicians who do good for the people. Dato Loga is definitely one of them. You will be seeing him back in Parliament soon, I think. I don't know. We hope so. We hope so.
God willing.
God willing. Have more better politicians in Parliament. So, guys, that's all we have for you today. Amazing list of politicians coming your way in the coming weeks. So stay tuned. And as always, please check out PPP when you can. Links in the description. Please share and like and subscribe. And we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.